Hi, my name is Will, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to confess something. I'm going to talk about something that I've kind of been putting off, and now I'm just going to be super honest. I started this YouTube channel by talking about my favorite piece of gear. My second favorite piece of gear is a piece of gear that I have egregiously neglected over the last, I would say, 2 years, like 2 full years of just senseless neglect. Little history. I have always loved PRS guitars. Always have. You've seen the video of my Custom 24 that I love to death. I play it all the time. It is my number one go-to guitar. And because I have that guitar, there are some other guitars that don't get played as often, which is a running joke with guitar players. You have too many guitars to play and not enough hands to play them, right? I don't want to look at the camera because I really do feel bad about this. What the PRS effectively replaced was a guitar that I played exclusively for a long time. It was, I'm going to say, the first nice guitar that I really got to customize the way I wanted it to sound like, feel like. I put a lot of work and effort and money into this guitar. Come to find out, got to know the owner of the company, got to build a really good relationship with them, and wound up endorsing their guitars for almost 10 years. Little shy of that. What I'm talking about is Tradition guitars. It's what I have here. This is my favorite Tradition. It is special to me. And the truth is, it had all 6 strings on it momentarily not too long ago. And I picked it up and I was like, man, I just need to strum some chords on this and put this thing back in my hands and remember what it was like to play it. And the string literally broke. So that was a nice, gentle reminder that I need to get this thing back. And that's what I'm going to do. I want to talk about this guitar, what it means to me, that company, what that relationship with that company meant. I would love to hook this thing up, but the strings are super, I mean, the strings are literally 2 years old. And I'm actually getting some work done to it this week. I'm going to go take it up to Tony at Groon's Guitars. The neck pickup is having some issues, and so I've got a particular combination of PRS pickups that I'm going to throw in it that I'm going to try to see if they'll work. I have an idea that they'll work, but you don't really know until you drop them in the wood and see what happens. But yeah, so this is my Tradition. It's a 2006, that's what I thought. MTP 375. It is a mahogany body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, quilted maple top, abalone trim all the way around. It's just beautiful. This guitar is just so beautiful. It's in this trans black quilted finish. There's a lot of green in it, especially because the abalone is popping it out. You can see the wood grain. It's absolutely beautiful. This thing weighs a ton. You can't really tell, but that's a thick body. It's much thicker than the PRS. These were made in the same factory that the PRS SEs were made at once upon a time. As you can see, these are very, well, they have a carved maple top. They're mahogany body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, dual cutaway, trim system. Originally, I think it was just volume, tone, and then a 3-way selector here. They're very PRS-like, which is why I fell in love with the brand. Because what Tradition was trying to do was make high-quality, affordable instruments. I think the MSRP on this when it came out was $1,200, and PRSs at that time new were $3-ish, right? So about a third of the price, and you get a nice set neck, 24 fret monster, and they play great. The necks are great on them. They hold up well. They're great guitars, and that company was great. Patty and Rusty are great people, good friends. We had a wonderful relationship over the years that I got to play these instruments. I have a nice collection of Traditions. My idea at the time was to collect a bunch of them, soup them up, drop pickups in them, do whatever fretwork and setup work that I need done on them, replace tuners if I needed to, replace trim systems or saddles or bridges or whatever, wiring, whatever needed to happen. Did whatever we needed to do to make the thing really just play beautifully. And so I have quite a few of them that are all set up a little differently. If you've seen my Instagram, you've seen a blonde one that's in this style. I'll show you a picture now of me using it on the road with Colton. It is set up for a whole step down, drop C, and it stays there, and it will never move from that. It sounds and plays so well at that tuning and with that string tension. It just sets up like that. It's awesome. So I have quite a few. They're all set up for something a little different. This one was set up to be the main guitar. Play it on every show, didn't matter what the genre. It could pull everything off. It has Dimarzio pickups in it now that are great. I've loved them. They have sounded great for a long time. Just the neck pickup is acting wonky in the split positions. So I'm going to just, as I'm revitalizing the guitar, rejuvenating it, figured I'd put new pickups in it. Grover locking tuners. We had all of this custom work done. We removed this volume pot, drilled it, put the 5-way in. It's a unique 5-way. Tony is actually the guy that did that. I have no idea what he actually did. It's volume and tone, and then this guy actually controls. So you think, oh, got a 5-way here. What's this 3-way switch then? Well, this is a Trem King tremolo system, and GraphTech did a thing where they created the Ghost, what'd they call it? The acoustic preamp system, where they've got actual pickups in the saddles of the tremolo system. Man, I can't remember what they called that. It was a Ghost system, something. Piezo system. Gosh, I couldn't think of piezo. So this guitar has regular pickups up, all the way down, a piezo system, and in the middle you have both, and then it all comes out of a singular TRS jack down on the bottom. I have played this thing so much. It's been refretted. Those frets have been worn out and then crowned because I played it so much. It has seen a lot of miles. It has seen a lot of venues. I'll show some pictures now of like different places that I've played this guitar, and you'll see me like at 16, 17 years old with this thing. So, going back 12, 13, 14 years. I love this guitar, and I have not played it for 2+ years, and that's just unacceptable. That is just unacceptable. So part of publicly shaming myself to you guys is a kick in the butt to finally get this thing up the road, just a 15-minute drive up the road, to go see Tony, give him the pickups, give him the guitar. I've had the pickups for 2 years now. Like, there's been no excuse. It's just been pure laziness and having the PRS do everything that I ask it to do. But I'm gonna change that. So I'll do a follow-up video specifically on this through the assortment of amps. As you can tell, used to be a Mesa here, there used to be another Chariotone here, and they're both being used. One is at a rehearsal space and one just got used at church. I take the Marshall sounding plexi thing to church because it's mid-focus and mid-pushes, and then the Mesa is at a rehearsal for a fun little competition we're doing at work, Battle of the Bands competition. We're playing some fun music, so I like to take it's the only time I get to take that thing out into the real world and play it. So when I get some of the gear back, we'll do a video with the new pickups. We'll go through all the sounds and get this thing back up into tip-top shape. But I was just reflecting on how much I love this guitar, what it means to me, how many shows it's been performed at. I mean, you know, try to count up the hours. It's a lot. I mean, this thing was the #1, and I literally played it everywhere, nonstop. It has just been such a great guitar for me. And because I've had some others, it's just been neglected. And there's a buddy at work named Brian who sometimes will graciously do some work on the guitars. He's great. I love Brian to death. He says, you know, the problem with guitars is that they have a mojo about them. And if you ever put them up for too long, sometimes they can lose a little bit of their mojo. And he probably said that to me a couple months ago, and it just got stirring in my spirit that I need to do something about this. So this is not really a before and after. It kind of is. I wanted you to see the guitar. I wanted to tell you about it. It is my second favorite piece of gear that I have, with the PRS being #1. And this was always a close second. I would take both of these guitars to a gig and know that anything I needed to pull off, I could, because this thing was so rock solid. The tuning is great. It's a huge chunk of mahogany. It sounds great. I just know what I'm going to get out of it. And I'm excited to get Tony to do some work on it, clean it up, get new pickups in it, bring it back to life, so to speak, and then do a video here in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks and crank it up through an amp in the room and just have it back in the arsenal. So, kind of a weird video today, but I wanted to tattletale on myself a little bit. And then kind of see this as a jumping off point. Like, are there any pieces of gear that maybe you've neglected over the years, right? I think I said that with the PRS video. Like, are there any pieces of gear that are like your go-to favorites that you'll never sell in a million years? I don't know that I would ever get rid of this one, right? Even if worse came to worse and I had to like get rid of everything, this would be one of the last things to go. It really, truly would, and that would be a really sad day. Because, not because of its value, like monetary value, literally emotional, sentimental value. This guitar is special to me. I love this guitar. I can't believe I've neglected it for so long. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna get it back. So, if you've got something that you've neglected over the years, or say you have a #1 and you haven't played #2, 3, or 4 in a long time, this is my challenge to go pick those guitars up. You've seen the videos that I've put up with the Gibson ES 330, the 50-year-old 1971 330. That's a buddy's at church who has a #1 and just said that it stays in the case, the 330 stays in the case most of the time. And he just doesn't play it. And if he said the phrase, if it's blessing you, it's blessing me. I would love to just see somebody play it. I play that thing all the time, mostly at church. There's just something about taking these things out of the cases after a couple years and bringing them back to life and remembering why you fell in love with it in the first place. So that's my challenge. So, kick myself in the butt for not doing this sooner. Can't wait to get it back. We'll do an update once I do. Love this guitar.